Well, that cartoon is certainly appropriate for today's study in Jeremiah chapter 20, because Jeremiah had it. he, he, he had been saying everything God wanted him to say. He got nothing but opposition, nothing but ridicule. But in chapter 20, it goes beyond that, and he's really had it. Jeremiah has spoken just as the Lord said in chapter 19. And he said, calamity's coming. And he's made it very public that the God is done with the nation of Israel and they're going to suffer calamity. But the priest who's in the area doesn't like what Jeremiah has had to say. And so he has him beaten. You'll find that in verse 4. I'm sorry, you'll find that in verse 1 and 2. And he has him put in stocks overnight. You can imagine being in the stocks with your head and your hands secured for 24 hours. And he's probably pretty sore physically as well as not too happy mentally. And he starts to complain to the Lord. Now, that's encouraging to me because sometimes I complain to the Lord. And I know we should never complain to the Lord, but sometimes our emotions just get the best of us and we get discouraged, as the lady that closed her kitchen and said, this chick's had it. Jeremiah was human, and he had it. So he confessed to the Lord, and he says, I'm just not happy at all because I just speak the words you tell me to speak, but all I get is persecution, and all I get is rebukes and opposition from all of those around me. But he realizes in verse 11, he says, but I know the Lord is with me. And it tells us in verse 12 that the Lord tests the righteous. Sometimes these things we go through when we say, I've had it, and start complaining to the Lord, it's just a test that the Lord is letting us go through so that our faith will be strengthened. Because, when you see this chapter 20, you find that Jeremiah is able to then turn to his adversary and say, you're going to be taken, your friends with you, into captivity. You're going to die in Babylon, and you're going to find out that the Lord was right all the time, and that his word is what really matters and nothing else. Well, I think that the fact that Jeremiah is able to turn to that priest with a confidence and say, in spite of the beatings that I took, in spite of the fact that I spent 24 hours in a stock, it makes no difference. God's word is true. He never promised me I would not go through things. As a matter of fact, I think a good time for everybody to read John 16:33 and recognize that he didn't promise us we'd never have trouble. He just said he'd be with us through that trouble. And to be able to look that priest in the eyes and say, your day's coming. God has assured me of that. Remember, this is prophecy way ahead of the fact of the Babylonian captivity. But Jeremiah is able to say, thus saith the Lord. And that's a wonderful thing to be able to say. Thus saith the Lord. I hate what's going on in America today. I really do. And I have been complaining to God, why don't you get some zealous investigator to investigate all that's going on and reveal the truth so that the truth will set us all free from all of these wild conspiracy theories. But God's on his throne, and in his due time, he'll reveal the truth, and he will hold responsible those that are responsible, regardless whether they're Republican or Democrat. And maybe he's going to hold somebody responsible that is an investigative reporter, somebody that has the ability to get to the facts. I mean, I see everything posted on the internet just like you do and wonder if it's true or not true because there are so many wild theories out there, so many wild statements made that may or may not be true. Nevertheless, the Lord's on his throne, and we can look square in the eye of all of those who say, we're crazy, we're making up these things, and we can look him square in the eye and say, God's on his throne. God will reveal in due time anything that's done in darkness. He'll reveal it with his light. And that's my thought for the day. God bless you and have a great day.